All right, today's episode, I'm going to share a pricing strategy for working with influencers and basically break down an analysis of how to effectively evaluate any price an influencer gives you. And stick around to the end because I'm going to share the exact formula I use to make sure you're paying for real audiences and weeding out those fake followers. Hey guys, my name is Joey Valancourt and I help mission-based brands create profitable win-win partnerships with integrity influencers. So if you're a brand, you're in the right place, but if you're an influencer, you're also in the right place. So let's go ahead and make some deals together. So there's so many times clients, and I hear questions from team members, should we pay this influencer their asking rate? This person gave us their media kit. Do you think it's worthwhile? Should we go through with this deal? These questions always come up. Probably the number one most popular question. How much do I pay for an influencer? They're asking me for this much price. Should I pay them? I got burned before. I paid $5,000 for this other deal and it didn't work out. And listen, I'm not here to make fun of people because I've been in that position, but it's like the most common question. And it's really not a black and white answer. But there is a scientific way and an analytical way to go through this beyond just what the vanity metric is and what the price tag is, okay? So you don't want to pay an influencer for something that isn't worth it, but oftentimes people pay the flat rate, because, well, you don't know better, right? It's not your fault. It's not the influencer's fault. But it all comes back to lack of knowledge and lack of insight. So my goal is to inform both sides to create fair compensation models for long-term partnerships. And again, if your goal is just UGC collection, like you just want to pay for one ad to put in your marketing, this pricing strategy does not apply. But this is for if you want to work with an influencer longer term to get them posting so that they make money as well as you make a profit. So here are the points to consider when working with influencers, how to structure paid deals, okay? Number one, what are you paying for and why? This is really important to align with and understand what price you're going to pay and should you pay it. So there's a bunch of different options. You could pay an influencer for a user-generated content piece, meaning it's just a UGC. Now, this is when you pay an influencer, they produce a video, an ad that then you take and then you run with your marketing team. You put it on your website. You optimize the landing page. You optimize the ad. You continue to amplify and use the ad over time. So you have one piece of asset that might live on for a few years or a few months, but ultimately it's a one and done deal for the influencer. So first off, that's a lot of engagement for the influencer. It's a lot of time to produce the content. And there's no real back-end upside for them. So in this case, if somebody's charging you $5,000, we're going to use that as a round number today for like an influencer transaction, you're going to want to pay probably the full cost. You might try to wheel and deal with them, but ultimately there's no upside to them producing a piece of content beyond that first piece. Now, there's a second thing, which could be just like you want brand awareness, you want impressions. Now, you could still do the UGC play with them, meaning you could extract that asset, but ultimately now they're posting for you in addition to providing you an asset. Now, you could potentially make a profit from their audience, but we don't know. It all comes down to their engagement. Is it the right audience? And all the other factors you have to consider. And if brand awareness and brand impressions is all you care about and you want the UGC, then great. You might consider giving them a percentage of commission, in which case the deal could go from maybe from $5,000 to $4,500 because there's a potential upside longer term. So just understand what you're asking for and why. And UGCs typically are going to pay a flat rate of their highest fee. And number two is their time, the credibility that they bring to the brand, the impact that could have on your brand. So one of the things to consider is, well, if I get this influencer, what does that mean? Because if I can put their name on my website, how does that affect my customer's decision? How does that affect other influencers looking at my brand? And am I willing to pay for that? If that's all you care about and you just want to acquire the name, not necessarily the back-end post, and them continue to driving profit to your brand, then you might want to pay the highest rate. It's not that you want to pay it, but you'll probably end up paying the highest rate for that influencer post because ultimately all they're getting from that deal is that one payment. Number three are the key figures that you need to analyze if you want to work with an influencer beyond a UGC, beyond a brand awareness or a testimonial that's going to be going on your website in terms of buying their likeness so that more customers are attracted to you and want to purchase because you have this endorsement. Number three is when I'm looking to acquire an influencer and engage with them over long term to drive sales for the brand. What I'm looking for are fake followers. Where's their audience demographic? What's their engagement rate? And what are the competitive products that they're already promoting? Now, most times, if influencers are promoting one product, they're not going to promote the same product to the audience. So you don't have to worry about that too much. But ultimately, are they out there just promoting every single product under the sun? If they are, their audience might be disengaged. They might not be buying anymore. So just understand that sometimes what you're seeing as far as promotions directly dictates whether or not you should pay for another endorsement, even though they seem like they'd be the perfect fit because they're endorsing products. they're endorsing too many products. And then working backwards, audience demographic. There's some really simple tools. Sometimes you got to pay for them. There's things like Flanks, there's Modash, just to name a few. I'm not affiliated with any of those, but you can pay a minimal cost per month, like maybe $10-15 a month, and you can get an analysis of their follower count. Everything from fake followers. Now that's an assumption. I'm not to say that, like, if you find an influencer with fake followers, that they're all fake followers, but it does a pretty good job at like identifying who might be a bot, or, the engagement levels of an influencer and how that translates to a benchmark that you might have set as your ideal client, partner, or influencer, however you call it. But ultimately, I want to know those things. I want to know what their engagement rate is. Do they have fake followers? And is their audience in the right location? If I have a primarily US audience, I don't want somebody that has a high follower count in the UK. Now, vice versa, somebody could be in the UK, but have a large US audience. So you want to make sure that you understand that. And those are 3 metrics that I would look at: fake followers, audience demographic, engagement rate. And then another consideration is the competition. How many products are they promoting? Does it look authentic, or is it just too many? All right, number 4 is an industry standard term that everybody should know when you're pricing deals with influencers, and it's called a CPM. CPM stands for cost per mil, or cost per million impression. So it's like total spend divided by total expected impressions times 1,000. That's your standard pricing model. So somebody gives you a $5,000 price tag, you look at their total follower count, and you can associate a CPM. Now that's the easy way to do it, and that's the way most influencers price, but there's a better way to do it, and we're going to get into that and how to price effectively for a real audience and one located in the right demographic for your audience. All right, now we're going to talk about number 5, the formula for Instagram. Now, this formula is a framework that can be applied to YouTube, to podcast advertising, to TikTok, to Rumble, to whatever platform is out there. You can design a framework around this for any channel, but this one's going to be for just Instagram today. So what I like to do is I like to find the profile, then I take their total follower counts, I minus the fake followers by finding something, again, through Modash or Flanks or an equivalent that basically identifies what potential fake follower percentage is their audience. From that, I'm going to have their total audience, and now I'm going to say, okay, where is their audience located as far as my prime demographic goes? Let's say that somebody has 100,000 followers, but 50% of those are fake. That drops me down to 50,000 followers. From there, I say, okay, well, what's their US audience? Well, it's only 50% in the US. All of a sudden, we went from 50,000 followers to 25,000 followers in the US. Now, this isn't exact, perfect science, because some of those fake followers might only be in the US and it might be at other locations, but it kind of gives a good breakdown, just a real simple way to calculate that. From there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to calculate total impressions. It's not 100,000 followers that I'm actually targeting. It's not 50,000. It's 25,000, because I want to reach the US audience and I don't want fake followers, like nobody would, right? So we do all that. We have 25,000 impressions, potential impressions, okay? So that's a vanity metric. It's not to say that all those followers are actually going to engage with the post. So you have to do a bit of barnyard math here. But then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at a commission share. So I'm going to say, I want to share 10% commission of every profit that's made. I'm going to give 10% commission to the influencer. So let's say that they're charging $5,000 for a post. I'm going to say, well, hey, if I give you 10% commissions, could we drop that to, and I usually do a percentage equivalent. So I'll start off with like, okay, 10% off of $5,000 is $500. So now I'm down to $4,500. I'll probably go even lower than that, because I want to show that, hey, if we drop a bit lower, we can work longer term. We can do more deals together, which equates to more money rather than doing only 2 posts and being done. If we drop the rate, we can commit to 6 months of posting and you get an upside of commissions. That's a pretty good win-win deal. And if that all goes well, we'll continue on with another 6 months and another 6 months. So I like to plant the seed for longer term, and smart influencers get the game. So they're going to want to also commit to longer term deals, even if it means less flat rate on the front end, because it's not just one post anymore and their time is stretching, and so is their dollar. All right, guys, hopefully now you have a good understanding of how to go into negotiations with a better framework and how to price effectively for longer term collaborations. If you like this episode or you like this video, you got some value from it, I would really appreciate a like, a subscribe. a comment. What's working? What other questions do you have? And really check out the channel because we talk about this all day long. We have Influencer Marketing 101. We've got brand deals on how to make more brand deals as an influencer and everything in between, because really you're just one partnership away from changing your business, whether you're a brand or an influencer. I so appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Take care.